to dancers and performers, there's none to beat my guest. Her first movie catapulted her to stardom, and she's stayed there effortlessly since. Well, let's see if she can tell us what the secret of her success is as I introduce you to India's top choreographer, Farah Khan. Welcome to the program,
Hi,
Farah.
Karan.
You know, you burst onto the dance scene in the early 1990s with Jo Jeeta Wo Sikandar,
Yeah.
and really took Bollywood by storm. But I gather the whole thing happened by accident.
Well, actually, yes, it did. Because I was assisting Mansoor Khan on Jo Jeeta Wo Sikandar. I was giving the clap and writing continuity. And Saroj Khan was the dance director of the film. And luckily for me, she did a Saroj Khan and went off in the middle of the shoot to shoot for somebody else.
You mean she just literally decided she was going to walk off?
One night she went off without telling anybody, and the next morning she wasn't there.
And so what did Mansoor do?
Mansoor, we didn't shoot that day, and then Mansoor called me and he said, I'm not calling her back and you're doing the song.
And what did you say?
And I was all ready for it. I was like, yes.
You mean you were sitting there hoping something like this would happen?
Yeah, because while we were shooting, you know, and I'd watch her, and I was like, she's doing it all wrong, you know. This is not how the song is supposed to be. And I was just one little upstart, and I couldn't go and tell her. So we take Mansoor behind a tree and then tell him that she should be doing it like this, because, you know, they're school kids. They can't stand in a line and do PT exercises.
So you mean by the time it happened, even Mansoor was hoping she'd walk off?
Yeah, I think he was kind of seeing what we were doing, and then, you know, there's this whole bunch of newcomers, and I'd take them up to my terrace. We were staying in Kodaikanal, and I'd have rehearsals with them just for fun. And one day I think Mansoor came up and he saw that. And so I think that kind of made him decide that, you know, we'd do without her.
Now, you know, the song that actually captured everyone's imagination was Pehla Nasha. But what made you shoot it and choreograph it in slow motion?
See, actually, the truth comes out now is it was copied from a Mani Ratnam film.
Is that why it was in slow-mo?
Yeah, it was in slow-mo because Mani Ratnam had done a song like that in Gitanjali. But of course, our song, the way I choreographed it was rather very different from what they had done. And I think for the first time, slow motion was used very well. You know, and it was the first time there was lip sync with slow motion in a Hindi film. And I think what happened was I think the whole mood of the song, which is that, you know, people doing, usually love songs had these 100 dancers running, carrying these colorful dupattas, and you'd have these matkas and apples and oranges. And I think for the first time I told Mansoor, I think he should sing it in his classroom, or she should sing it when she's out buying vegetables or whatever, because when you're in love, you know, it's the inane situations, and then you're imagining yourself, you know, it's
why did it take 2 years to film?
No, actually because Mansoor changed his cast halfway through the film.
So you had to start all over again?
Yeah, we started all over. There was another actress instead of Aisha Julka. So
Mansoor, although he gave you the break of your life, didn't make it easy for you.
It took over 2 years to shoot the whole film was reshot, and then he changed some more actors. So that part was reshot all over.
Did you get the feeling he was playing games with you?
No. But I think it became better and better because of that. By that time, I had learned.
Every time you reshot it, it improved.
Yeah, I had learned. I was an absolute newcomer. I knew nothing about camera angles and all that.
You know, at the time they used to say that Farah is brilliant, but she can only do Western roles. So when you came to do Dhol Bajna Laga, was that a real challenge?
Yeah, it was. No, it was not a challenge, Karan. I always knew I could do it, but there was nobody. I think Priyadarshan, the director, was from the south, so I think the poor guy didn't know that I can only do Western songs. He didn't know I had this reputation, so he just called me and took it for granted that I would.
You won your first Filmfare for that. Were you expecting it?
Yeah, I was hoping to get it, but Shamak was a strong contender for Dil To Pagal Hai. And I was really, really pleasantly surprised.
What did you say to yourself the moment they announced your name?
I didn't say it to myself, I said it on stage, and lots of people took offense at it. I said that maybe it's the first time people have realized that, you know, choreography is not just about 100 dancers standing in a line and doing synchronized movements.
Tell me, who did you have in mind when
you
said
I just meant, because always I didn't have any particular person in mind. I meant Filmfare and all other awards were only nominating songs. You know, for them choreography was just if you had like synchronized PT movements.
And you were determined to make it more dance.
Yeah, because 1942 was not even nominated for choreography, and I thought some of the most beautiful songs I've done were in 1942.
In fact, the strange thing is you went on the very next year to win your second filmfare.
Yeah.
You won it for Chaya Chaya
Chaya
from
Chaya.
Dil Se. But what made you do that dance on a moving train?
Because actually we really didn't get permission at the railway station. It was
So it
supposed
was
to
meant
be
to
a
be a
grand-
platform number.
It was supposed to be the train stops and people get down and they dance here and then. And we didn't get permission on the railway station, and we had this one train in Ooty which we got. And it was as big as a stable, literally. It was this narrow.
So you actually said to your dancers, well, if we can't dance on the platform, we'll dance on top of the train.
We just go up and we did it, and Mani sir was very excited about shooting on this train, and then, you know, nobody could say no to him, so.
And then again, there I've read that that entire choreography for that song happened in 3 hours.
No, see, what happened was, when the song was given to me, I set the whole number, and it, you know, when a song is brilliant, I mean, I think most great things just happen quickly.
A flash of inspiration?
Yeah, you know, like even Kaho Na Pyare, when we did for Ritik, in one rehearsal we had the whole number.
Is that how Ek
sometimes
Pal
you
Ka
slog
Jeena
and
happened?
slog and slog, and you know, it's not happening.
You say in the whole rehearsal it happened in just one number.
Yeah.
So is that how Ek Pal Ka Jeena
Yeah,
happened?
even Chaya Chaya, we just played the song, and in one rehearsal we had choreographed the entire, all the moves. Of course, we shot it over a period of 4.5 days.
Tell me about Ek Pal Ka Jeena, because you're once again in the running for the Filmfare Award. Everyone says she's going to get it again.
Oh,
Is that your feeling?
inshallah. Well, I think the song is the song of the year. I mean, everyone is doing this silly step.
Do you want that? Do you want it badly?
Well, it's always better to get one than to lose.
It is, you're right, the
But
song.
I don't want it as badly as I wanted my first one.
You're not that greedy
You know,
for success anymore.
The first time I was like really nervous and will I get it, and now I'm like chilled out, and I've decided to take the award seriously only the year that I get it.
You know, you're right when you say it's the song of the year. But is it the song of the year just because of your incredible choreography, or also because of Ritik?
He's an incredible dancer. I mean, I can't choreograph that for somebody who cannot do it. You know, it works both ways.
So Ritik was in mind, and only Ritik in mind
No,
when
it
you were
happened
doing
by accident. We didn't even know he can dance like that, because that silly boy didn't tell us that he used to be a break dancer when he was a kid.
So it
And
was
you know,
a
he used to
discovery
do all
actually.
the moves, and he used to do all the body waves and all, and nobody does that, so we don't normally give routines like that to in Hindi movies, because nobody can do that. And we were just pulling his leg, and we said, let's pull his leg, and I made one of my assistants do a really difficult body wave and bring it up, and we said, now do this. And he did it, and we were like, oh, jackpot. So we re-choreographed the entire song in the rehearsal.
So this was the second lucky accident. The first was Jojita was Sikanta. The
Yeah.
second was discovering that Ritik can
Second
do
was
body
not
wave
getting the
movements.
railway station.
So this is the third.
Yeah.
A series of accidents. Your whole
Yeah, I
life
mean,
seems to be lucky accidents.
Yeah, lucky me.
You know, the amazing thing is you are really there right at the top. You dominate dance in Bollywood at the moment. And yet I gather you never formally trained in dance.
No, never. I've been trained under Michael Jackson. I used to watch his videos and learn. We don't
Which
have
video?
any schools. Thriller.
I mean, that's how you learned
Yeah,
dance? Imitating Michael
that's
Jackson?
how I started dancing. I wasn't dancing before that. I was like 17 years old, and I had no interest in dance. And then one day I saw Thriller, and I was like, this is what I want to do. And then just spent months rehearsing all those steps and learning, and
I mean,
and
you'd
then-
stand in front of a mirror and copy Michael
Yeah.
Jackson.
that's what I do.
And so all of the choreography that you know, in a sense, is
Is
inspired and imitation
spontaneous.
and based on Michael Jackson.
It's more inspired than imitation. I don't think you can take any of my work and say, oh, I've seen this exact song somewhere else. I don't think. I think even Kaho Na Pyare, for all the moves, I don't think we have taken anything from anywhere. And Chaya Chaya, I think, is one of its kind in the entire world. I don't think anyone shot a song.
And when
like
you
that.
met Michael Jackson, because you did pretty
Yes.
recently, was that a thrilling
I
experience?
was floating, you know. I went into Shah Rukh. We were doing this show in New York, and he was the chief guest. And they took me to meet him. And he was very sweet to me, and he was very thrilled that I was a choreographer. And I told him it's because of you, and he hugged me. And poor Shah Rukh was performing on stage, and me and his wife were watching, and they said, Michael Jackson's come, so we left him, and we ran. And then I went back into Shah Rukh's room, and I burst into tears. I was like, I met Michael Jackson.
When you were a teenager, your friends used to call you the dancing queen, and you took part in several dancing competitions, and in fact you won practically all of them.
Both of them.
But was that just fun, or was your career somewhere
No,
at
it
the
was
back of
it
your
was
mind?
just fun. But it was fun, but there was a lot of competitiveness about it. When I was doing the dance competition, I absolutely had to win it.
Are you a competitive person?
Very,
Do you like winning?
very, very much.
So what do you mean it doesn't matter any longer, the third is not as important as the
No,
first?
it's not. I'm just trying to make myself feel good if I don't get it. I think. No, I mean the
Are you superstitious?
very,
Really?
very.
So you're scared that if you talk about the Filmfare
Yeah.
Award, it may just not happen.
I think so.
Huh?
So I'm just trying to play it down and be very cool about it. But of course, I would feel very bad if I didn't get it because more for anything, I think this year that song deserves to win. I mean, the last year I was nominated and I knew that I didn't deserve to win. So I didn't feel bad about it at all. Because I knew that there were other songs which were better than mine.
But this year, you not
this
only
year I
want to
feel-
win, but you deserve to
And
win.
this year I feel I should be nominated in 2-3 categories, in 2-3 films. Because I've done, I mean, Mohabbatein was good work and I think I did some good songs in Har Dil Jo Pyar Karega.
So when you meet your Aunt Hani Irani, who apparently was the one responsible for making sure that you didn't do something conventional and end up getting married, but
Yeah.
actually chose a job and made a career, what does she say to you today?
I think they are rather proud of me, my family, and I'm very proud of them because each person in my family, whether it's my brother or whether it's Hani Auntie who's writing scripts or whether it's my first cousin Farhan who's just finished his film or whether it's my uncle Javed Akhtar, they're all...
But your Aunt Hani
Doing.
didn't actually want you to be a dancer, did she? She was pushing you in different
No,
directions.
they sent me to work with Shankar Nag as an assistant in post-production. I worked on Malgudi days, I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
Yeah, I worked in Malgudi
So were they
days.
surprised when you decided that dance was your forte? Not
No,
not
this is
making
when
films?
I had finished dancing, Karan. I had finished my career as a dancer and I didn't want to dance anymore. And I didn't know what else to do because earlier as a dancer there was nowhere to go. What do? You dance for some years and then you don't do anything. Now at least my dancers, they make so much money, you know, there's music videos and there's ads and there's movies and they're minting money.
You know, Farah, listening to you talk about your life, I get the feeling that not only have things happened by lucky accidents, but there's been a sort of guiding hand that's pushed you because you
I
went
think
into
so.
dance but you felt you couldn't make a career of it,
Yeah.
and then by accident,
Yeah.
dance has become your career.
Absolutely.
Do you believe in destiny?
I think so.
Is there
But
a hand behind you
I
pushing
feel
you?
every step that I've taken has been lucky for me, but behind that luck, somewhere I was prepared to take that chance. You know, when Mansoor called me to choreograph his song, I was ready to choreograph it. It wasn't that I didn't know anything about it.
The knock happened at the right time.
Yeah, you know, I was ready, and now I think when I'm going to make my movie, if I try to make a movie so many years ago, probably I'd make a mess of it, and I wouldn't know what to do. But now I'm ready to do that.
Let's take a break. I want to come back and talk not just about the movie that you're just beginning to tell us
Which
about,
you're
which is
going
going to
to
be
be
your
starring,
first movie, but also about the style of choreography that you've uniquely made your own.
Okay.
We'll be back in just a couple of moments. Stick with us. Back, my guest is Farah Khan. Farah, let's talk a little about the style of choreography that you made uniquely your own. Now, for instance, in some of your songs like Sandeshe Aate Hain or Kuch Na Kaho, there are hardly any dance steps at all. Do you still consider those choreographed
Yes, I
numbers?
think those are more difficult to choreograph than a routine dance number in which I just have to give dance steps.
Why?
You know, because it's very difficult to hold on to an audience's interest for about 5 minutes with just two people on screen who are not doing, not jumping all over the place, and then to have moments between them, and that is actually a director's job, I feel. Then, you know,
Well, precisely, I mean, instead of calling that choreography, wouldn't you call that artful picturization
I
of
think
a song?
so. I think so. I think it's more like a song direction rather than just dance steps.
So in
And-
this instance, would you say that you've actually pushed the frontiers of choreography?
I
It's a
think,
new type of choreography?
I think my love songs, even if you take from Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, the title song, which I thought was very unique with just 3 of them, and there weren't any dance steps and they weren't running all over the place dancing, and still it showed each person's emotion. So I think that's my forte. I like doing songs like that, even though they are underappreciated.
So would you say that in moments like this, you're actually bringing out the ambience and the feelings and the emotions?
I think yes, and the camera movements and what they're going to wear and how the set is going to be.
All of that is under your control.
Yes.
You know, it's not always that easy though, is it? Because although there were no dance movements in Kuch Na Kaho,
Yeah.
it still was pretty tough for Anil Kapoor.
He had to carry Manisha Koirala up the stairs. She was pretty weighty those days.
And he did his back in, I believe.
Yeah, I think by the third day he had his back in a brace and he was like, I wish you all were dancing, that was easier.
So when you choreograph a song, whether it's a Kuch Na Kaho or whether it's a Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, do you bear in mind only the role of the character in the film, or do you also incorporate some sense of the ability of the actor?
Both, I think. Both. I mean, I have to bear in mind the character of the film, but most characters dance in Hindi films, so that's not very tough to do.
But what about most actors? Do most actors dance equally well?
Nowadays they do. I think they know they have to be proficient in dance because it's like you have to act well, you have to dance well.
Who would you say are the really good dancers?
Well, my favorites are Shah Rukh, just for sheer energy. I don't think anybody would have stood on top of the train and danced like him. He's just fearless, you know.
What about Govinda? People always say that he was
I
born to
love
dance.
Govinda. I love him.
And
I
what-
haven't worked with him, but I love to watch him dance. He just gives me so much pleasure when he's dancing. He's just having such a good time himself.
And what
And
about,
that is what is most important.
what about the opposite? Who are the dancers who simply don't know how to dance?
You're going to get me in trouble, Karan. Well, there are a few of them, but you have to find ways to get around that. Or you simply
Is
say,
that what you did with Nana Patekar in Hum Dono?
oh, Nana's a fun dancer. He admits he can't dance, and then he just makes it his own style, and then he just does this dance, and he does it with so much gusto that you know, I feel if it shows on the person's face that he's having a good time, it doesn't matter if his dance movements aren't so good. He should just be enjoying himself. It's also about expressions and.
So you're saying that his enthusiasm overcomes
I think
his
so,
inability.
and everyone knows that Nana is not Michael Jackson, so they are not expecting him to dance like Hrithik.
But you got a lot of praise for it. People said that Nana has two left feet,
Well, he
and
came
yet
for
you made him
rehearsals.
look like John Travolta.
No, he came for rehearsals. He was very enthused. He rehearsed for a week, and I made him do what he could do, and I didn't try to make him do something that he would never be able to do. But I will say, please, you have to do it because as a dance director, I demand that you do every step that I'm showing you.
So did you have to instill a lot of self-confidence into him?
Oh,
did
he
you have
was
to
very
build him
confident.
from the word go?
Yeah, he was very confident. He was like, yeah, you play, I'll dance around.
Let's talk a little about you personally. Your father, Kamran Khan, was an actor and producer. What sort of
Director.
childhood did you have?
Oh, we had a very, very filmy childhood, Karan. Everything revolved around films, and my dad used to make these black and white swashbuckling films with Dara Singh, and it was great fun. And since the time I remember, we were going for shootings, and you know.
Film and Bollywood was very much the environment.
Yeah, every topic was about movies, and used to have these filmy parties at home where actors used to come and all, and then.
Now, sadly, one of your father's films, Aise Bhi Hota Hai,
Aisa Bhi Hota Hai.
flopped, and the family was
it was
bankrupted.
A disaster. It was. It released on Friday, and by Sunday, I think, we were below the poverty line.
How bad was that? I mean,
It was pretty bad. I was about 6 years old, 6 or 7, and it was pretty bad because I was a spoiled brat before that, and I'd get everything I wanted, and then suddenly you don't get everything you want.
so when you say you were below the poverty line, what does that mean? Did you lose your home?
No, just the home was left. Everything else went. The cars went, my mom's jewelry, my gramophone, very filmy scene, now that you think of it. And everything else went.
So all the little things that you'd grown up with
Yeah.
were sold off or
Everything.
lost.
Finally, we just had like an empty house with 2 sofas and a fan.
There are stories on the net in one of the interviews you gave that even during a worst bad period, you had to rent out the drawing room for a while.
Yeah, we had to give it out. These people would come and play cards in our drawing room, and then there'd be a kitty, and they'd give us some money, and that's how the house was running for a couple of years.
When you were 13, as a result of this trouble that you were going through, your parents separated. At the
Yes.
time, did you think that your world was collapsing around
I
you?
think we were very confused, my brother and me. We didn't know where we were, because one moment we were staying there, then my mom took us and went off, and then we were staying in a little room, which was my mom's brother's, and our whole lifestyle changed because my mother had to start working, and my brother and me had to suddenly look after ourselves.
You also started working at a very young
Yeah,
age.
I started working when I was in the 10th standard.
Was that because the family needed the money?
No, that's because there was no one to give me pocket money or anything. I was not supporting my family with the money. I was supporting myself.
So you were forced into independence.
I think I wanted it. Nobody told me go and work, but I wanted to do it. And
You worked
I've been
at-
working ever since.
You worked at the Sea Rock, did you not?
I worked as a
waitress.
waitress, yes. I wanted to go to see the Asian Games in Delhi, and no one was going to give me the money to do that. So I worked for a month as a waitress.
The experience brought you very close to your brother Sajid. Is he today your best friend?
He's not my best friend, but he's definitely he's my life support. I mean, we both can't live without each other. But he's not my best friend. I can't tell him anything. He gets very hyper. He wants to go and bash up people, and also I can't really confide in him. I have to calm him down.
You describe him as your life support. Is that why you never ended up getting married?
Oh, not because of Sajid. Who in their right mind would want Sajid as a brother-in-law?
Are you serious?
No, I'm joking. No, I think we just had too many bad marriages in our entire family, so we're a little wary of. But I probably will. I mean, I've nothing against marriage.
Marriage is on the horizon.
I don't know, but if it is, I wouldn't say no to it. I mean, I'm not anti-marriage or I will never get married, or it just didn't happen, and I'm glad that it didn't happen when it was supposed to, because I'm sure I'd be rather unhappy.
Now, they say that the one thing that really excites you at the moment, and you mentioned it briefly at the end of part one, is the movie you're going to be making. You're the director there as well.
Yes.
Tell me quickly about it.
Well, this is a movie that I've been planning, and Shah Rukh's going to be producing it. And we've been planning it, and you have a role in it.
I have a role in
yes.
it?
My movie begins with you.
So it's a comedy, is it?
No, there will be, you're not doing the comedy, but you're the serious part of it. And I'm
what
very
sort of movie is
excited.
it? What's the story
It's
about?
a Hindi commercial movie. I don't want to make art films. It's a proper emotional film with lots of action in it, and it's a story of two brothers. I would like to say it's a love story of two brothers.
The interesting thing is you're not just directing it, you've also written the script.
Well, I was forced to write the script because nobody else would write it for me. I went to every writer in town.
They turned you down?
No, they were very excited, and then after the third day they wanted me to do some script that they had written 5 years ago. And, you know...
So the only way you could get a fresh original script was to write it yourself?
The only way that they... I mean, I guess it wasn't out of choice. I mean, it was horrible writing the script because I had no experience. I don't think anyone who writes a script first has any experience of how to go about it.
And who's going to do the choreography?
I think it'll be me. I'll probably kill the person who comes to choreograph my song.
So the movie very much is a one-woman show. Director, scriptwriter, choreographer.
Choreographer.
Are you starring in it as well?
No. I don't think I'll do a Subhash career yet.
When are we going to see it?
Next year, I think. We're going to start sometime mid this year.
And it hits the screens in 2002?
Inshallah.
What?
We need your dates, Karan, so whenever you're free, you please let us know.
You're going to put off the audience if you talk about that. I wish you luck, Farah. It's a movie that I'm sure many of us look forward to seeing. Thank you for a great interview, and good luck with the film.
Thank you. Bye.